I think Lav blocked Max. That's what they've said publicly.
For example, this guy and me, I had information from multiple sources about how he's bad-mouthing me.
When Max subscribed Ari and Yuna's OnlyFans to try to get her to go on the record. Mr. Redacted calls you a cult leader. Why would I care?
So the cult is all-consuming. The leader doesn't play a substantially more important role than the followers. The cult is über alles. You seem to fluctuate between shock and indignation.
Well, it's upsetting.
Upsetting? Why? Let me interview you for a while. Why is it upsetting?
Sure. I think I just escaped a cult.
Okay.
And the leader is very angry at me.
Which is a good sign. It indicates that your move was healthy. Cult
I think
leaders
so.
resent health.
Yeah, I got my streaming career by being boosted by a much larger streamer. I actually wasn't a streamer at all. I was making YouTube videos, and I became very popular with his fan base, maybe too popular. And this resulted in a strained friendship, but working relationship.
This seems a little
I
obsessive.
met all these other streamers over the course of a year, and I slowly realized that they are all entirely subservient to this bigger streamer. He calls them orbiters. They call themselves orbiters. And I started speaking out against.
Wait, real quick, how do you load things from here to your ship? Do you really use long inserters? That just seems so cocked.
Some things that I thought were unethical.
Oh, true.
Or immoral, and just met a ton of resistance, which is when I came up with the white blood cell metaphor. Because I just people I knew, who I'd gotten to know, who I was sure they would see what I was saying, or they would understand. They would, not revolt, but stick with me and say, oh yeah, this is wrong. They all folded immediately. So I left, and I decided to write an article about it, about some of the abuse that I believe is taking place, and the response was pretty much as you described it.
Wow.
The shocking thing, I just broke up with a guy. I have been working with him for 7 years. He has a YouTube channel, which cannot be described any other way except a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. He's a cult leader. I've been working with him for 7 years. We created some great content together. And then he, in my eyes, misbehaved egregiously, betrayed me, big time. I will not go into details, of course. It's not a gossip show.
Is this you made a video recently about rescuers?
I will not go into details, as I've just said.
Okay.
But
okay.
It was an identical dynamic. I broke up with him, and then all his cult members started to kind of, attack me, bombard me, threaten me, and so on. It was extremely disconcerting because his channel is supposedly about abuse and how to prevent abuse, and how to. So I know what you're going through, what you've gone through and are going through.
Yeah, I mean,
how much sulfuric acid is it per mining action?
After a year, I realized
is there a way to know?
My popularity, my audience is maybe 70-80% his audience, and that the system is set up so that you don't really have your own fans. You can make a lot of money, a decent amount of money, but it's highly conditional. fealty to things that or to a person who I couldn't do it anymore.
Cults.
So yeah, as you're describing these things, it is
Cover the
upsetting.
mining drill on the right.
Yeah.
Cults are patronage networks. They distribute
two.
benefits. The benefits could be intangible. They don't have to be money. Belonging is a benefit. Acceptance is a benefit. Access to chicks is.
Watch this clip. It's a good meme about narcissists by the guy he's talking to. It really makes you think.
They masquerade as good people, but they actually engage all the time in perfidy and betrayal and backstabbing and badmouthing and so on. Because to pose as a savior or to pose as a rescuer, you have to cast someone as an abuser. You can't be a savior if there's no abuser. So they go around labeling people abusers and so on and so forth.
Huh.
They masquerade as good people, but they actually.
Huh. Wait, I want to watch the rest of this. Hold on.
So on and so forth. But in reality, most of these saviors and rescuers, who are usually men, they're rabidly misogynistic. Some of them, I think, are latent homosexuals or closet gays. They're narcissistic, and they're psychopathic on the dating scene, for example. They're players, actually. Most of them are players. And the pickup line of these people is, I am a savior of damsels in distress. They're self-appointed, of course. And their saving and rescuing is self-imputed. It's nonsense and bullshit. It disguises predatory practices. But they go around picking up vulnerable, heartbroken, sad, crying women and telling them, I'm going to save you from the bad, mentally ill, dangerous, damaging abuser.
Holy shit. Bro, you can make like a compilation with this guy speaking over it. What the f? She's my daughter. God damn it.
Don't you ever talk about my daughter that way. Don't you
your daughter,
ever,
you
ever,
parasocial
ever,
operator.
ever,
I'm
ever talk
Max.
about. I began my investigation
Lav, burn her up.
on
It was her.
November 8th, I think. After
Let
I
me
talked
check.
to Lav. That's the day I streamed
Yes,
with Lav was the day I
Lav.
began the investigation. You're so fucking brainwashed that
You talking about me?
Yeah, you.
Yes.
You've lost
You-
your mind.
you.
You've lost your mind.
You are brainwashed.
You don't even know what I think. I don't know why you're saying that I'm brainwashed. You don't even know what I think.
You are brainwashed.
You asked me a
we
question
know you're
about
brainwashed.
Lav.
You're a
Okay.
lost cause, my
brainwashed.
friend.
Because I asked you a question
Yep.
about Lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're brainwashed. See ya, nerd.
This is why I quit.
See you
not
later,
see what you're
nerd.
doing,
MrGirl.
See ya,
You know what
nerd.
I'm
Yes,
See
this is
ya.
Mr. Queeb. This
See
is why
ya.
you quit. You also quit because you're brainwashed. I'm glad you brought that up.
Bro.
Do you not see how there are any?
I didn't wanna say it.
Got him.
You know, I don't even want to talk about Lab.
Do you not see how? Do you not?
That you're with. I'm the alternative to the horrors of your relationship. But often, as Cartman correctly observes, it is the savior who is the abuser, not the so-called abuser. Cartman says that these roles are not fixed. They crucially depend on play acting, circumstances, interpersonal dynamics, and so on and so forth. So very often saviors and rescuers are predators and abusers masquerading as saviors and rescuers. So they go to venues where you can find such women. I don't know, bars, dating apps, restaurants, but they home in, they zero in on heartbroken, sad, damaged, crying, devastated, anxious, and depressed women as targets wherever they may be. It could be a dinner. It could be an intimate dinner with friends. This happened to me. This savior type, he picked up a girl at a dinner, you know. These women need to talk. They need to share. They can't be alone. They can't face being alone immediately, for example, after a breakup or after a big fight with a partner. They can't face being alone. They just need to talk, but they end up being prey, sexual or otherwise. The The savior or the rescuer just stigmatizes and labels someone as an abuser. They just pick up any guy and they would label him an abuser. It often is actually a friend or a colleague, because these are the easiest, most available targets.
I'm sorry.
So they would go around, they would they would pretend to be your friend, and then they would talk to your wife or to your girlfriend, and they would convince her that you're an abuser and they can save her. They're fake friends. They are seething with envy and resentment owing to deep-set inferiority complex. Saving, rescuing this operation makes them feel omnipotent, empowers them. You know, they feel godlike. It's mythical. It's almost mythological. It's almost like King Arthur legends. You know, they are the knight on shining armor, and they're saving damsels in distress from the monsters.
This was before. This was recorded 13 days ago. This is before this guy even talked to Max. Jesus Christ.
That lurk in relationships. The abuser could be anyone. That's what I'm telling you. That's not the point. Of course, some women are subjected to abuse in relationships. But the savior and rescuer is a predator. He's not really interested in the woman or in her relationship or in her woes or in the problems that she's having or in her state of mind or in the abuser. They couldn't care less. They hate women. Most of them absolutely detest women and hold them in deep contempt. They want to hurt women. They are dangerous, sadistic predators. They're rabid misogynists, as I told you. So they badmouth. Even if you are best friend with them, they badmouth you. They betray your confidences for hours to other people. And of course, being grandiose, they don't realize that their words are reported back to the so-called abuser. For example, this guy and me, I had information from multiple sources about how he's bad-mouthing and egregiously backstabbing me.
Wait, is this guy writing the script for my life? Wait, holy shit! Wait, I don't know if I trust this dude. I don't know if I want to reveal my season 7 scriptwriter right now. Hold on, I gotta think about this.
I would introduce him to women, and then he would take them aside or fix an appointment with them or have, you know, a date with them, and he would go on and on and on for hours, bad-mouthing me, trying to convince them to not be with me. But I refused to believe it because he was that good at faking. He's a consummate fake. He's been fake all his life, I assume. He had to be fake to survive, you know. Saviors and rescuers attempt to create alliances or coalitions with victims against abusers. But often the abuser is actually not an abuser. So that's what I said. For example, there's a fight. There's a fight. A couple has a fight. The savior would plug himself in and convince the woman that she's being abused. Or there's a breakup. Hours after the breakup, the savior would date that woman and sleep with her. That's the pattern. I call it the predatory 3 S's. I'm going to save you, I'm going to have sex with you, and then I'm going to scram, and I'm going to scram pretending to be altruistic. So like save, sex, scram, the 3 S's of the predatory, savior, and rescuer. I'm going to pretend to save you. I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to be your shelter and refuge and sanctuary and respite. I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to listen to you for hours. You can cry on my shoulder. I'm going to understand you and accept you. I'm going to calm you down, ameliorate your anxiety and everything. All this
did somebody say?
In order to end up having sex with you. And then once I've had sex with you and aroused your sympathy and so on, there's a connection. I will scram. I just run away. And I will tell you, you don't need another fantasy, or you're not ready for a relationship, or such other bullshit like this. This is what rescuers and savior types do. It's a highly narcissistic behavior. It's selfish, it's egotistical, it's predatory, it's exploitative. It's horrible because it leaves the victim of abuse, if she is indeed a victim of abuse, it leaves her much more broken.
In case you didn't know, Max and Lav have blocked each other on Twitter now, by the way. But
Than before. It leaves her even more devastated. She feels used and re-traumatized second time.
wait, what happened? I think it was because Lav went back to OnlyFans. I think Lav blocked Max. That's what they've said publicly. It's because she started doing OnlyFans, so she blocked him on Twitter so that he wouldn't be disappointed in her. I don't know what actually happened. I'm not privy to that information, but that's what they've said publicly.
Depends. If they're narcissistic, yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. We're one step closer to bringing Lav back to the stream. I know how much you guys want it, okay? I'm working hard every day on it, okay?
If they're narcissistic, yes, they believe their own lies. They believe, they have this fantasy of themselves, it's a grandiose fantasy of themselves, as saviors and rescuers, and they believe their own lies and confabulations.
Yep.
It is their job, so to speak,
Yeah.
self-assigned mission in life to save women from men. It's splitting. They choose a target, let's say a good friend, a colleague, a neighbor. They choose a target, they make the target all bad or all black, an abuser. And then by comparison, they're all good. And that is splitting. It caters to their grandiosity. But they have unboundaried sexual needs. They don't they have no moral compass. They have no moral compass. They would sleep, they would poach your wife, they would poach your girlfriend, they would do anything. They don't care. They absolutely, there's no boundaries, no guiding behavior, no code.
I remember those. When Max subscribed to Ari and Yuna's OnlyFans to try to get her to go on the record. Jesus Christ. That was a good ass meme.
No, nothing. They are utter, unmitigated, feral.
Okay. So I've been digging around some OnlyFans stuff. Okay, I'm doing homework now. Okay, I found another person. I subscribed to them, but this person had a whole bunch of videos on their shit. It wasn't pay to unlock every single one. So I thought about, like, maybe if I run into somebody that posts stuff like this, maybe I should shout them out. But I feel like that might actually create like a weird dynamic. But maybe we would create a good dynamic, because I thought this person has a lot of high quality content behind one subscription. They don't charge you for every single fucking video, okay? Which is cool. However, if I started shouting them out, I don't know if I'd have like a fuck ton of OnlyFans girls in my DMs, like giving me free passes, like go check my stuff out, maybe you want to promote me. And then I don't know if that would be a good thing or a bad thing.
Savage predators. Yes, I think I can generalize and say that everything I've just said is based on this character, this guy in my life. But I've seen others, of course.
I should bring efficiency modules and then combine it with speed modules, and then I could accelerate the fuck out of this. That's what I meant. In fact, I should just take off and go do that now. That's what I should do. And then I could run this for a little bit while I'm here. I don't know how much naquitite I need for my first year of research, but.
And yes, I can generalize and say that all savior rescuer types are like that. They are like that, absolutely. No, he is not. No, he is not an he is not an exception, and it's not because I'm angry at him. I am angry at him, but it's not. I'm sufficiently detached. Yes, this is the profile of a rescuer savior, and any woman who has gone through this cycle will confirm what I'm saying. Any woman, ask anyone who has had this triangle of abuser, rescuer, savior, ask her what the rescuer, savior, self-appointed rescuer, savior, ask her what he did to her. Did he or did he not have
Set up
sex
to
with
automate
her hours?
Set up to automate the shit. Let's talk about next.
Is a benefit. Money is a benefit, of course, but also power is a benefit in internal hierarchy. It's a fantasy. It's what we call in psychology a paracosm. Paracosm is an alternative cosmos. It's detached. It's a bubble. And so within this bubble, you can create an entire universe with its own laws of physics, if you wish. And then if you play by these rules, you're rewarded, emotionally, materially, in other ways. And if you don't, of course, you're sanctioned similarly. So it's what we call a reinforcement system. It's a reward punishment system, positive and negative reinforcement.
Positive and negative at the same time.
And it's fairly intermittent, by the way. It's fairly intermittent in the sense that very often the leader kind of punishes you to remind you that you are still at his mercy. So he demotes you, he criticizes you publicly, he does something to remind you that he is the source of the power, not you. That you are an annex or an orbiter. He's the source of the power.
Yeah.
It's a highly narcissistic structure. It's known as charismatic leaders, but actually these are narcissistic leaders. And no, not all politicians are narcissists. That's another common stupidity online. At your disposal. If you have anything else to ask.
I want to show you something. I want to show you a drawing that my girlfriend did. Would you be willing to look at it?
No shot. Is he about to show the unhinged?
You won't show me your girlfriend, at least show me the drawing.
Well, she's asleep, and I don't think that would be right.
Is he really going to?
I think you're right. That would be crossing boundaries.
It's right. That's right. Boundaries are very important. Okay, I'm going to put it in the Zoom chat. Will that work for you?
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me find it.
Where are these walls smooth?
It's a tweet.
Oh, it's because the ground is here.
That she made. She spent a long time on it, and it's an illustration of this just entire dynamic that I feel like you would enjoy.
I would enjoy the dynamic or the illustration?
The illustration.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna paste this here. Okay, do you see a link in?
Yeah, there's a link here. I'll try to click it or something. Yeah, here it is. Give me a sec because I'm kind of I'm switching to another.
Sure.
Okay. An interpretation would come handy.
So these are the orbiters in rows, and these are pretty.
Do you think he talks to his therapist about me? I want to go over my girlfriend's drawing of this guy.
Close likenesses, and then this is the streamer on the left, sitting on his throne of bones, and then you can see me in the background getting torn apart by wolves.
I see.
That's the negative reinforcement.
Shaylin said that in your first stream with Max, she was creeped out by you because of your sexual undertones towards MrGirl, and she was protective from the start because of how creepy you were.
When did I think that Destiny was treating you badly? And I would say that the first stream that they ever did together, I was creeped out by some of the stuff he said and immediately tried to bring it up and was mildly gaslit during that conversation about it. So then I kind of ignored it a bit, but I would say after like...
You're saying I gaslit you?
You got really upset, but everyone else seemed to think that it wasn't a big deal and that I was overreacting also.
Everyone else?
Yeah, we were in a group chat with our friends.
Well, can you just say what happened instead of implying that I gaslit you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we were in a group chat with about, let's see, probably like 5 people. And we're kind of talking about this new streaming thing. And I said that I was creeped out by some of the things that I thought had a weird sexual undertone to them. And Max said that he was uncomfortable that I was saying that, and that I was like not being fair, or that I was like misconstruing the situation a bit. And then the others in the group kind of were like, oh, I didn't perceive it that way. I don't think that, kind of a thing. So I was like, well, maybe I'm being a little protective and paranoid or something. I just had a bad feeling about it. And then later, when Destiny was being more like aggressive, I guess you could say, I was just like, well, he's an asshole, but like, I think maybe he's treating you badly, but as long as we talk about it, maybe it's not that bad. So I'm not really sure when I fully flipped to like, this is really bad for you. I think I started saying that streaming in general was really bad for him, because at that time, mostly he was just streaming with the Orbiters, who were generally kind of shitty towards him. So that, I guess that's what I would say. That I felt uncomfortable from the first moment, and then I had a hard time believing that there was a genuine friendship, or like reciprocal possibility of a friendship, because I didn't view Destiny as friendship material, really. I just felt uncomfortable for reasons I couldn't really explain until later.
Shaylin has no mind. It's completely overwritten by whatever weird mind fuckings like Max does. Like she's, yeah.
Well, it's a fair rendition of cult dynamics.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Not all cults are morbid, so I'm not sure about the throne of bones. But yeah, otherwise it's a fair representation. And he's holding is kind of in control of the wolves.
Wait, I wonder if I can put a thing on my eye. Hold on, let me try this. Should I